Right, so this weekend it is UFC 316 and back in the main event, the one and only Dvalishvili, the bantamweight champion of the world, taking on the former champ, the one and only Sugar Sean O'Malley. Now, a lot of people said that this rematch didn't need to happen. Well, guess what? When the champion, Dvalishvili, has beaten almost every other contender, well then guess what? There's not many contenders left, because that's what Dvalishvili did on his way to the top, on his way to becoming the champion. Of course, he beat Sean O'Malley at the Sphere, UFC 306, in a pretty one-sided dominant fight, okay? It was a really good, strong performance, pushed the pace like always, used the wrestling, got the takedowns, kissed him on the shoulder, talked some shit to the corner.
Yeah, I had a little fun kissing him, but I'm not planning this time to kiss more, but let's see. Let's see how everything will go.
There was a lot of wild shit going on, and we're not talking about the stuff on the screens either.
I feel like every UFC should be here.
But before that, he beat Henry Cejudo, former two-weight division champion, Pyer, former champ, Jose Aldo, legend of the sport, Marlon Moraes, Cody Stamen, so on and so forth. But he's beaten a lot of champions, and now he is the champion, and he defended the belt against Umar Nurmagomedov, a man that was undefeated, a man that thought, oh, I'm going to walk straight through this guy, a man that a lot of the public thought he is the next coming of Khabib. He comes from Dagestan and the lineage of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, so this guy's going to walk right through him. And no, he didn't. He had a good start, but Merab took over. He out-wrestled him, he outstruck him, he out-fought him. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. He out-fought him. He showed more heart, more will, more cardio. And the man is improving every single time we see him. The hands against Umar, they were flying, man. They were fast and they were powerful. Now, granted, the thing about Merab is that he hasn't been getting the finishes, okay? And a finish for either man in this fight would be sensational. So, let's talk about the fight. Sean O'Malley was kind of a victim of his own success coming into that fight. Why do I say that? Well, because of course he's tall, he's long, he's quick, his striking is beautiful. And because he's so tall, he could pick people apart on the outside. He didn't have to go forward. He wasn't necessarily a pressure fighter. He was the type of guy that would wait for the fight to come at them, then boom, catch him coming in. Look at that performance he had against Marlon Chito Vera. Beautiful. From start to finish, and I love Chito, but it was a savage beatdown. Chito showed a lot of heart and will and the chin of a goddamn warrior in that fight. But he got picked apart. He got kneed in the face. He got cracked in the skull, okay? And my point is, Sean was just there, moving and grooving, staying on the outside. And that's typically all he has to do, because he's taller, because he's longer, because he's got really quick reactions. But against Dvalishvili, if you try that shit, the man's going to walk you down. He's going to shoot in. He's going to push you up against the fence. He's going to pick you up. He's going to ragdoll you and get in your face. And when you're a guy like Sean O'Malley, you need that space to operate. Now, Sean's a good grappler, okay, but he likes to operate on the feet. And because of his success at standing at range and picking people apart, he didn't have the answer for Merab. Now, every fight is different. And just because Merab won the first time doesn't mean he's going to get the job done this time. Oh no. And especially when you're counting the fact that Merab said in the 5th round, that's when he was really hurt by Sean. He ate a body kick. He ate a right hand to the face, and he was kind of out on his feet for a little bit. His words, that's what he told me.
He landed me two punch or something. I felt that he can really knock people out.
Then you've got to factor in that Sean O'Malley has made some big changes in his life. He's changed his entire circle. He's changed his phone number. I can't even get hold of the guy. I wanted to have him on the podcast, but as I say, he's changed his phone number and he's not taking any messages on Instagram. He's off social media. He's not doing the podcast. He's changed his friends. He's not smoking weed.
Don't think I've even smoked this year. I might have.
Why? Because he just got beat fair and square. We know against Chito, he calls that one a fluke.
For some reason, that was supposed to happen, but I also thought it was a fluke.
It was a legitimate victory for Marlon, but still, it is what it is. Sean's going to cope with it how he copes. But that one, he was beaten soundly over 5 rounds, okay? So he's made some changes. He's not smoking weed. The cardio's going to be better. And remember, he went into that fight with an injury, apparently a torn labrum.
That last fight camp, I was lucky to get one good like grappling session in a week.
He did have surgery, so that backs up his claim. And if you've got a torn labrum, you're not going to be doing too much wrestling. So maybe that affected the takedown defense. Now, Merab, has grown in confidence. He's got better. He's had validation, beating people like the Nurmagomedovs. He's defended the belt. He's the champion. He's not a fluke. He's not a one-trick pony. And he's growing in confidence, in stature, mentally. He's better than everybody.
I believe I can beat this guy again.
He might just be the best bantamweight of all time. But we're going to find out on Saturday because Sean O'Malley's coming back into this one with a bang.
I feel like I can win this fight in any which way.
Now, I think he's going to do better than what he did in the first fight, but I just think stylistically, Merab's a problem. These wrestlers of that kind of caliber that have that kind of cardio and pace and will to win, they're a nightmare. Merab's a short guy, and that makes him short and stocky, gives him a thick neck and a big chin. That's really good for absorbing shots. And of course, if he gets on the inside, as I said earlier, all the beautiful punches and kicks, they don't mean shit. Merab's going to get on the inside. That's what he does. I do believe Sean's going to have some success. He is going to stop some takedowns. I think he's going to work really hard on getting back to his feet throughout the entire training camp. So he's going to have more success. It will be a closer fight. But make no mistake, when the dust settles, I do believe Merab Dvalishvili will still be the champion of the world. All right, fight fans, UFC 316 is coming up and it's going to be a night that you won't want to miss. The biggest names, the toughest battles, and everything is on the line inside the octagon. Getting on the action with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. From explosive knockouts to title fight drama, it's all happening at UFC 316. Now, of course, the main event, Sean O'Malley taking on Merab Dvalishvili. If you think you know who wins this fight, guess what? I have got an incredible offer for you. As I said, I've partnered with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers that download the app use the promo code Bisping. New customers bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. That code is Bisping. Use that when signing up. Stay in on the action. Use that $300 in bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same fight. If you love the thrill of live betting, DraftKings have got you covered. Bet live on in-progress fights right as they happen, making watching the fights that much more exciting. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry, you can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have the shot to win cash prizes. So, what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers use the promo code Bisping. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code Bisping only at DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, moving on to the co-main event. This one is a little bit spicy. It's always spicy anytime Julianna Pena is involved. She talks a lot of shit, and I absolutely love it. I've been at fights with Julianna Pena, and she is shit-talking the fighters. She's down in drinks. She's having arguments with everyone. She's a fiery, passionate, spicy individual, okay? And so is Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison, absolutely jacked for the division. Not quite as jacked as me, by the way, but she might be more ripped. She's definitely more ripped. And of course, Julianna Pena was accusing her of being on steroids and stuff like that.
Actually, I wanted to know, are you okay, honestly? Because I know that you have to, like, piss blood, spit blood in order to weight drain yourself. You weight bully.
Of course, she's not on steroids. We all get tested. She's one of the most tested fighters in all of the division. She went to the Olympics, and we know about the drug testing protocols there. Now, as we know, she's a judo Olympic gold medalist. She's got a record of 18-1 in mixed martial arts. The one loss to Larissa Pacheco in the PFL when she kind of got tired and struggled to take her down. Now, Julianna Pena is big, strong, aggressive. She can take a shot and she can land a shot. Now, we know she has that win over Amanda Nunes. Now, in the rematch, she kind of got smoked. She kind of got picked apart. But she did see the final bell and she hit the canvas many times. And that just alludes further to what I'm saying about the heart, the will, and the toughness of Julianna Pena. However, in this fight, of course, just like Merab, Kayla Harrison is going to try and push her up against the fence. She's going to try and hip toss her. She's very good at that. She's one of the best female judokas the planet's ever seen, okay? She will have success, but can she maintain that over 5 rounds? It's going to be a tough one. It really is. Over 5 rounds, she might start to slow down. This is for a belt. She's going to be a pound lighter. Making 136 was always a struggle. Now it's 135. 1 pound doesn't sound a lot, but when you struggle like crazy to make the weight, that extra pound is going to suck. Now, with all that said, I do believe Kayla Harrison gets a submission in around round 3. I think Pena's going to struggle to stop the takedowns. I think Kayla Harrison's going to get on top, and when she does, she's a nasty piece of work. She's going to be driving down elbows, doing whatever she can. That will force Julianna Pena to give up her back, and then there it is. RNC, rear naked choke. A new champ, Kayla Harrison. Alright, and then we move on to Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum. That was supposed to go down in Mexico, but Joe Pyfer got stuck into the tacos, got sick, was on the bog for days, had food poisoning, and the fight was scrapped at the last minute.
Damn.
But it was rescheduled, and Kelvin Gastelum, this man is rather inconsistent. Sometimes he's fantastic. Look at the fight that he had against Israel Adesanya, fight of the year. It's in the Hall of Fame. The man's got massive punching power as well. I can attest. I fought him in a fight that should have never taken place because I'd just been choked out a couple of weeks ago against George St. Pierre, and no, I was not intoxicated when I took the fight.
Is that the only line you've got, Joe?
Are you intoxicated?
But regardless, Joe Pyfer, you want to talk about people that hit hard? Holy shit, the knockout power is insane. Now, when I talked about the fight with Gastelum against Israel Adesanya, we've got to remember that was 2019, and when you look at the record, he's been losing a lot of fights. Lost to Adesanya, lost to Darren Till, lost to Jack Hermansson, got a good win over Ian Heinisch, lost to Whittaker, Jared Cannonier, Sean Brady, and granted, there's no shame in losing to any of these people. You've heard of all of the names that I just reeled off. They're greats. Sean Brady's in line for a title shot. Jared Cannonier is a perennial contender. Robert Whittaker is the absolute goddamn man. We know this, but losing is a habit, and being inconsistent and not being disciplined and missing weight frequently, like Kelvin Gastelum has done, shows a level of discipline. Does Kelvin Gastelum still have it? Does he still want it? Is he just showing up for a paycheck? We don't know. But we know on the flip side, Joe Pyfer is a mean, angry, nasty bastard who's extremely motivated, who's at the start of his career. He's got experience, don't get me wrong. He's had 16 fights, he's 13-3, but he's learned a valuable lesson against Jack Hermansson. He went out there, wobbled Jack many times in the first round, and then slowed down, ran out of gas. So you learn lessons from those kind of performances. So I think the cardio is going to be improved, and he's not going to be trying to knock out Gastelum with every single shot. However, I do think at some point throughout 3 rounds, Joe Pyfer will land that shot and will put Kelvin to sleep. Before that, we've got Patchy Mix coming to the UFC, a former Bellator champion in the prime of his life, a record of 20-1. He's a submission specialist, 2 knockouts, 13 submissions. He's going to try and take Mario Batista down to the ground. But guess what? Mario Bautista does not get the credit that this man deserves. He's been around the UFC for a very long time. He's on a 7-fight win streak. He last beat Jose Aldo. Before it was Ricky Simon, Damon Blackshear. The man's very good, okay? And as I say, he's sliding under the radar. But will Patchy Mix be able to take him down? Will he add another submission to his record? Now, I speak to people in the mixed martial arts world at the gyms and all the rest of it, and everyone just speaks so highly of Patchy Mix. He's not a flash in the pan. No bubble will be burst. I do believe that Patchy Mix is going to come to the UFC. He's going to handle Mario Batista, and we got another contender on our hands, guys. And then, of course, opening up the main card, Vicenete Luque taking on the one and only Kevin Holland. Take a bow, Kevin Holland. He was just in action. He just fought Gunnar Nelson in London in March. We're only in the first week of June, for crying out loud, okay? And he's back in there again. And that was kind of Kevin's problem. Going up and down, being inconsistent. At 170 against Gunnar Nelson, he looked like a world champion. And that's something that Vicenete Luque has looked like many times. Great knockouts, excellent submission skills. But Kevin Holland motivated with the reach that he has, with the jiu-jitsu that he does have, and with the punching power that he has. He's a problem for everybody. Now, Vicenete Luque, last time I got a first-round submission over Temba Garimbo. Showed the world, hey, listen, I'm not done. Yes, he was stopped by Joaquin Buckley in the second round, but Joaquin Buckley might just be a future welterweight champion. He was beaten by Jeff Neal, and he was beaten by Bilal Muhammad. These are no slouches, okay? But he has lost 3 out of his last 5. Now, this is a close fight, and this is the end of the video, so I'm not going to keep you hanging. I do believe Kevin Holland probably pulls this one off, but he's going to have to be careful, just like you always do. Anytime you step into an octagon with another human being that wants it, that has trained their goddamn ass off. So there it is. There's my predictions for UFC 316. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section. Let me know if you think that my picks are correct. Let me know who you think wins the main event. And as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell. See you soon.